3, 2, 1. We're live. Okay. Welcome, everyone. It's Carl Hovelson here, and welcome to the Hangout here today, where we're going to talk about how to engage with your new prospects. And we've got a panel full of people here today. We've got Don Hamilton. We've got Noella Pina. Is that how we? Pena. We have Tamara Trowbridge, we've got Thomas Marguccio, and we've got Alan Hordell, who's actually on a conference call now. He's just finishing up with that. He'll be joining us later, along possibly with Jerry Schroeder. So we want to talk about a few things today. I mean, some of the biggest feedback I've had that has come back in the last little while is, how do we engage with people? Okay, I mean, it's one thing to send out messages to people, but what happens when the engagement starts? Okay, when you've actually got to start having a conversation, whether it's on the phone, whether it's text messaging, whatever that might be. Now, what I want to first bring on is I want to get everybody's input into this that's on the panel here. Okay, I'm going to start with we'll start with Don, and then we'll go across with Noella, then Tamara, and Tom. The reason Alan's on here and Jerry's on here is to give you guys some training feedback on that. So what I want you guys to do is give us what it is that you need from us that to start your conversation. So Don, I'm going to start off with you, and we'll just go from left to right.
Actually, I think you guys are doing a great job right now giving us what we need. The two things that I've heard in the last week was, Val's today. I mean, I've got it written down. I don't have it memorized, unfortunately, but the one about has anybody recently told you about Legends Network? I haven't used that as much as I've used the one that you gave us before, but I have started using that. I used it 2 nights ago, probably. I did 14, and I've heard back from 3 of them. And, nobody's joined the business from it, but, what we've got is conversations going that in the past we didn't. What I'm discovering for myself is that where I thought I knew how to be a conversationalist with people, I really didn't. And so the couple things that I've given back to you, Carl, for you to look at and see, what you would have done, or just a little bit more explanation, I think it's slow getting into the old brain here. But I think my part is not so much about. In fact, somebody said it today, and I don't know if she was kidding or not. But the lady that lives out in White Rock, Canada, she said on Val's when he said, "Has anybody told you about Legends Network?" And she put down, well, what is Legends Network? And I think myself, and I have a feeling a lot of other people are in the same boat. Okay, well, shoot. Well, where do we go now?
Okay, hold that thought. Okay,
yeah.
I like
hold
that
thought, and I'm going to tell you how to respond to that, and so will Alan. Okay, because we'll chime in on this. I'm not sure when Alan will be done his conference call, but we'll chime in on that. Okay.
So something to that, Don.
Well, just hang on. I'm going to go across. I'll get to you, Tom. So hold that thought. Okay, I'll get to you. I'm going to go to Noella first. So Noella, can you give us some feedback when you're writing in? For instance, hey, have you heard? Has anyone talked to you about the Legends Network yet? Just a simple line like that. Don't know if you're using it, but that is the simple line that we've all been using. Now, I'm not sure if Noella. Is your mic working, Noella?
I see her on the chat.
Yeah.
No mic.
No, it's no mic. Okay, so we're going to move over to Tamara. Okay, don't worry, Tom. We're going to get to you. Hold that thought, okay? So, Tamara, when you're using the line, has anyone talked to you about the Legends Network yet? What kind of responses are you getting back, and where is it that you're nervous about?
That's the leading line?
That's the leading line.
But that's not how I've been being told. I was start social, find out the FORM, move them through the conversation, see if they have a problem, and see if we have a solution. Not blind now say, does anybody talk to you about this, and try to push them into CLB or TLN. So that's what I was learned, or what I was told the proper way of doing it. By just blatantly coming out there and telling you, hey, have you heard of it? No, and that's it.
Okay.
Or yes, not interested. Okay, so how do you guide, you know?
Okay, there's many ways. I mean, we had that chat too, and that was working. I mean, I gave you guys some lines to use, but this was before the fireside, okay? Or before I knew about the fireside, because I missed the fireside.
Right.
Now, since the fireside, they had talked about a simple line of sending to people, and you know what? They're saying send it to your friends, but I've been doing it to everybody. I don't just do it to the friends. I'm connecting brand new with people, and I'm saying, hey, you know, how are things going? By the way, BTH or BTW, okay, by the way, has anyone talked to you about the Legends Network lately? Okay, simple line, just like that. And, you know, they'll get back to me and they'll write their comment thing, oh, things are great, and no, I haven't heard of it. Okay? So now you're thinking, now what? Okay? So the next line is simple. Can I send you some info? Their answer is going to be yes or no.
So there's all bull crap of being all social, finding out about their family.
No, there's no bullshit about that. That's not bullshit. You're building a conversation. You could end up building a conversation out of that. That reply could be yes, but by the way, what is it that you're doing, or how are things working? And that's where conversation could come in. Every single text message or conversation could go many, many different ways. Okay? And it's all a matter of how you address each of those questions. For instance, let's say if they say, no, I haven't heard about it, but, you know, so how are things going for you? What is it that you are doing? You know, what made you go there? What made you join that particular program? What made you not look at anything else? Okay? You've got to address those programs, or those questions. Questions would be, you know, I've looked at a few things that people have shown me. You know, they've either suited my interest or they haven't suited my interest, because not every business opportunity is built for people. I look at things that are that will actually work with anything that I'm doing. Okay? For instance, if I've got a primary business, the last thing that I want to do is try and change people from their primary to my primary. Okay? You're going to lose a lot of people if you do that. Here's what you do. I will say to people, I say, you know what? You've got a great primary business going there. You know, how long have you been building that for? Oh, I've been building it for a year. You're definitely not going to want to interfere with anything like that. They don't want to hear anything. So what I would say is, look, I'd say, you know, it sounds like you've got things going here. However, have you ever thought of a back-end income? Something that you could filter people into that really doesn't take your focus off of your business whatsoever. So, for instance, if you're bringing people into Motivee, right, and they're coming in this way here, and a lot of these people don't have, let's say, a marketing budget, okay? Would you be interested in looking at a back-end business that could actually create some funds for your marketing, okay? I mean, this one here, and you can get training. It's got training there as well from top minds of the industry that teach you how to market and create leads and create income off the internet. This could be vital to your business. So you could filter people in through there, and in the meantime, they're building some extra money, and that would be money capital that you use to advertise your primary business.
And that's just way too much to tell a newbie to say.
Yeah.
I'm telling
you. Listen, you know, I don't know what to tell you, because this is business, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to help you guys here. And
I
if you
understand,
think that's
but
too
you're
much, then there's nothing I can do. Hang on. You're on my panel now.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna let me speak. Okay? I'm trying to tell you what you need to do. If you want to put up a roadblock to that, that's totally up to you. Okay? This is business. I'm going to tell you a lot of information. If you have a notepad, you should be taking notes. And if you're not, that's not my problem. You've asked me for my help, and I'm here to help you.
Okay? It just seems
I'm
like
here to have everybody that comes on this panel, I'm here to give you some information. Now, I will hear feedback from you, okay? But I don't want to hear, well, that's way too much information. If you're going to college, and you were going to college, and you're professor taught for 3 hours straight. Are you going to stand up and say, that's too much information? Can you break that down? He's going to
Okay.
break the door and he's going to say, don't ever come back. That's
I
what he's-
understand. My
Okay.
mistake. But maybe I didn't phrase it properly.
Okay.
It sounds like once I get them to say, have you heard of the Legends Network, I can understand where you're coming from. But I'm still, I'm trying to find the right way, because people are, when I ask people that question, either I'm not getting a response, or they're like, oh, you're pushing something on me. So I'm trying to find out how to gauge in that type of conversation, how to get around that barrier. How do
Well, this is
I,
what I'm
as a
trying to
person, do
share
that?
with you. I'm trying to share with you a lot easier way to do this. And this is what
Okay.
came to mind on the fireside. See, I missed the fireside on Sunday.
Yeah, I was
and I'm
there.
still steaming mad at myself because I missed it. But I did get some information from it. And then Val talked about it this morning. He's saying a very simple one line can start the conversation where you have control of it.
Okay.
And that simple line is this. Forget anything that you've done in the last 2 or 3 days. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to take a whole brand new approach to things. Okay? And we're going to try and make it even easier for you. Because maybe some of the stuff we had earlier was a little bit too complicated. And it might have been. So we're always here to try and give you some easier ways to do things. So that line was this. Has anyone talked to you lately about the Legends Network? Simple as that. That's a simple one line. They're going to reply with 1 or 2 answers, yes or no. If they reply with no, your simple response is, would it be okay if I send you some info? Their answer, yes or no. Then what you do is you say, here is a 40-minute webinar. You can watch it live or recorded at your leisure. Okay? What I'd like you to do is just watch this and then get back to me and let me know your feedback. Good or bad, I want to hear it. That's that simple. And I've been doing that all day long here today, and I have already got 17 people that asked me for my link.
Okay.
17 people today, okay? And that's all I did on Facebook today. I haven't even done it on LinkedIn or anything else. I was just doing Facebook, okay? And that's as simple as it gets. If they say, yes, they've heard it, you say, congratulations. That's awesome. What did you think of it? And you see, there's different ways to get input back from people. And any way you look at it, you end on a positive note. Okay?
Okay.
And this is how we build our reputation and we build our friendships and that with people online. Okay? Sometimes it's not all about business. When they say that they're too busy with their business, again, I told you a way to do that. Yeah, it's a bit of a long way, but you know what? It's a conversational piece. This is a way to have marketers think, because most marketers will not think back-end income. They will not do it. It's out of their vocabulary. It's out of their thinking, okay? Because they believe that if they bring something else on, it can immediately impede on anything that they're doing, and it doesn't. This is very, very simple. I've done it for many years in my business. I have a primary focus, and I tell people, you know what? I'm not interested in replacing my primary because it's doing well. But I'm always open to anything else that might benefit my business. And every big marketer or every marketer who's got any kind of proper thinking in their head is going to think and accept anything that's going to help them with their business.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
You good with that? Sorry,
I'm good with.
camera. Look, this was not an attack on you. This was just, it's constructive criticism. And again, I can be a bully sometimes. Okay.
I know. I'm just.
And
I have
sometimes
to
my wife has to
overly
put me in my place. She is beside me, so she is going to be on your guys' side. Okay. She's like an arm's length away from me, right?
Okay. So let go of the notion of that. There you go. Thank you. So let go of the notion that I have to worry about their family and their occupation and their all this from the get-go. It's okay to lead out, hey, how are you doing in business? Have you heard recently? It's just, I mean, because I don't, you're supposed to have the etiquette. I'm trying to figure out the etiquette thing of what I can and can't do, but it's my business and I should do what I need to do, right?
Well, it is, but you've also got to realize this, okay? You've also got to realize that every conversation is never going to go the same. Okay.
Right.
You know, it all depends. I mean, you could have somebody who's a real grumpy date, right? And they're going to come at you in a totally different attitude, like, now what do you want from me? You know, are you going to get something that goes, oh, you know, man, you could talk to me all day long, it really doesn't matter, eh? Right? You're going to have all kinds of them. They're going to be like that. So it's all a matter of, you know, the first thing we want to focus on is our business, okay? And right now, we want to get the word out about the Legends Network. And just by mentioning to people, you know, have you heard about the Legends Network? That's not impeding on them whatsoever.
Well,
You're just asking them a simple
No, my mic is
question.
on. Okay.
Yep,
Is my
you can.
camera off?
No, we see you.
No, you're on. You're on, man.
Hey, Jerry. We hear you.
Yep, we see you with the yellow background, and now we see
Okay.
your picture.
Phone up to the
Okay.
ear.
Muted, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over now to Thomas. We're going to get that, and then we're going to start bringing on. We're going to bring on Jerry, and we're going to bring on Alan, and get their take on what I've talked about. But we're going to get their take on it. Okay?
Thank
You got to
you.
remember, you're very welcome, because sometimes, hey, this guy here doesn't necessarily know everything. Okay? And that's why I bring on the people who do know everything, at least know how to make $1 million. We're going to get their take on everything here. So,
All
Thomas,
right.
okay, same question, okay? When you're asking somebody, you know, have you heard of the Legends Network?
I have, okay. I have not used that yet. Plan to use it, and like you said, it's off, using it for everybody, but Val had said to do it for only to our friends list. So I haven't done it for the friends list. I used what you had said first, how to engage people with this graph search, and that's where I left off. So I will go back and use this new strategy. I'm always looking for the new strategy and learn here. Every time I come here, it's a new strategy, and you know it's all good. Whatever works. The thing is, what I wanted to bring up is that people do and have said to me, both on LinkedIn and on Facebook, about I am devoted to my program, I am successful with what I'm doing, I don't really need to do anything else, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of thing I get, and then it stops me cold. It's like, how do I get through that? Because I say, oh, yeah, well, I have something that could help you, but, you know, they may or may not want to hear that. You know, and something that gets through that would be helpful, because they say, I'm focused on this, and you know, this is what I am doing to focus, and I really don't want to break my focus because I have a downline to answer to, and all of that kind of stuff. And you know, how can you argue? Even if they're not successful, they're not going to tell you they're not successful necessarily because they don't want to admit to it a lot of times. And you know, you can't. You know how you can just stop them. You know, from that kind of objection. You know, it's an objection.
Simply back what I have.
Losing your. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Carl, can you hear me?
We
Carl?
have you.
Yep.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. You know, it's interesting. Sorry that Jerry and I were on a conference call, and so we missed the first part. But it's interesting, you know, to have
we lose
Jerry
you?
come in. What's that? What?
Yoda man,
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
you're coming back. You were
Can
frozen.
anybody hear me? Yes?
I hear you. I hear you now.
I don't know what's happened here.
Okay, Carl, can you hear me?
Thomas, can anybody hear me? Can someone say something?
I hear you, Carl, but
Uh-oh.
you know, you're there now. That one is not there.
Okay,
Guys, I hear every single one of you guys. You sound fantastic.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
All right.
Jerry. I hear
I
you,
don't know if
Jerry.
anybody can hear.
let's get this back on track. Okay,
Hear me?
Carl, be quiet. We can hear you.
Hello? Oh, crap.
Carl, we can hear you just fine. Okay, I'm going to continue, if you guys all can hear me okay, except for Carl. It was interesting you talk about objections. And I want to just say something in regards to objections.
Alan is talking. Okay.
Who's talking?
I don't know. I hear you, Alan, but Carl seems to have a problem there. I'm seeing a frozen face.
Well, then he needs to step out and come back in.
Can you hear us, Carl?
Forget about Carl.
Forget about Carl. Okay, we'll deal with you, Alan. Go ahead.
Okay. when we talk about objections is something that I first of all, the terminology objections I don't like. When you give a presentation, and I kind of use an old saying, get your story down cold and deliver it hot, but it has to be a true story and it has to have all the information. If you do a proper presentation to somebody on whatever company you're doing, if it's the Legends Network or if you're involved with another company and you give a presentation, your presentation should last about 10 to 12 minutes. And your presentation consists of three things. And these three things you have to remember. First of all, your presentation consists of the company, the product, and the compensation plan. And if you cover the company, know a little bit about the company, where they come from, where they've been, how long they've been in business, yada, 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 and then you go to the products and talk about the products, and then you go to the compensation plan. That takes roughly about 12 minutes. In that presentation, you should actually have answered every question that probably is going to come up, or objection that will come up. You probably won't get objections. So after that presentation, that 12-minute presentation, you can simply come back to the person and say, do you have any questions? Well, that's the wrong thing. First of all, when you come back to the person that you're doing the presentation for, you come back to that person, you say, what is the best part of what I just talked about for 12 minutes? What's the best part of that you like? And what you're doing is you're mind shifting them into tell you what they like about the product or the company or the product or the market plan, not what they don't like about it. So when you come back and say, do you have any objections or do you have any questions? As soon as you say, do you have any questions, you open yourself up to objections. But when you come back and reword that and say, the presentation that what we just had, what do you like best about that presentation? And they're going to go and say, well, I really like the coded bonuses part. I really like the training part. Fantastic. And what you're doing is you're putting the person into a positive mind to make a decision to join your team or invite them into one of the webinars, okay? Now, if somebody does come up with an objection, if they do come up with an objection, chances are you didn't do the presentation properly. You really haven't. But if they come back to you talking about the good things and you're asking about the good things of the program, the objections will never be there. So we put ourselves in the position of getting objections our own selves. It's not. And if a person has questions, that means that they have not got the answers in your presentation, and that's why they have questions, and you can answer those questions. But when I do a presentation, I always tell people, just hold your questions, hold anything right now, because probably in the next 10 to 12 minutes, I'm going to answer any questions you've ever had in regards to our company, our products, and our marketing plan.
Okay, Alan, I want to tell you something about that. Now, first of all, this is not what our role is here, to be presenting, because the presenter is Val Smith, and our whole idea is to invite people to the webinars. Now, if we start pitching, when they say, what are you doing, and you go into a whole long spiel and a pitch about Legends Network, blah 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 blah, I find it a turn off because they don't want to hear that.
Hold on. You just missed everything I said.
Oh no, but we're not. Are we supposed to present? Is that our job to present?
Hold on. You just said going into a pitch or a long spiel. I pitch nobody. I don't go into long spiels. I give you missed what I said.
The presentation. The word presentation came out.
What I said was, you give them a 12-minute presentation in order to bring them to the webinar. There's going to be a 45-minute webinar that Val's going to conduct. You're piquing their interest to invite them to the webinar. That's why I give them a 12-minute presentation. I have far more success of inviting people by giving them a short presentation, a short story, and getting them to the presentation than just inviting them to the presentation and hope the hell they're going to show up.
I didn't know we had to do that. That's
well, well, I think Jerry's going to tell you the same thing. You do that in any company, whether you're doing Legends, whether you're doing any. See, every company has a presenter. Jerry is with a company called Unicity, okay, and I'm with that company. Now, what happens is that I go and Jerry does a presentation. But how I get people to go and listen to Jerry's presentation or Jan Bloom's presentation, I give a 12-minute presentation myself to excite them, to bring them to that presentation.
Yeah. Well, we're doing this on a short thing with Facebook in Facebook chat, so it's not like we're talking to them. We have to get even to speak to them. You need to get them over whatever they're saying, which is usually what I find is, yeah, I'm already have a successful business. I'm already a success, and I really don't want to spend time. I don't have time for something else. I'm focused on what I'm doing, and then for me to get past that, it's like now I have to answer that in order to tell them anything about Legends Network, which they really don't want to hear at that point. They're telling me, no, I don't want to hear it. I'm already in a business now. I'm successful in that business. What's the answer to that? Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Let me answer.
Go ahead, Jerry.
The interesting thing, Thomas, and you're talking about, you're talking about working online, right? And you're talking about using social media. You're talking about using different types of online strategies to invite people. And what I like to get people to understand is that we're in a business of painting pictures. That's what network marketing is. That's what the home-based business industry is. And we need to build rapport. We need to build it fast, whether it's on the phone or whether it's in text. And bottom line, in any conversation that you do, the one that asks the most questions is going to win. So if they start saying to you, well, I'm already successful, I've got a great business, I don't need this, I don't need that,
right.
What I say to them is I just straight up, if I gave you a website, would you just look at it? Does that sound fair? These are my most favorite words. If I would you, does that sound fair? Any objection that they give me is created by us in our initial approach. So what we have to do is we have to create some kind of a canned approach, which I have in text that I use on Facebook all the time. It's just simply, hey, listen, let's say I was doing, and this is some of the marketing that I do, and I'm just giving this to you, Thomas, because I think it's going to help everybody.
I love it. Yeah, it sounds good, Jerry. Thank you.
If I was marketing, let's say in Calgary, Alberta, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or Miami, Florida, right. And I was on Facebook or in a social media room, and I was finding people in those locales, and I know how to do that. I know how to find people in specific cities by looking up different genres, different niches. I'll just send them a message and I'll say, hey, I was just doing a search on Facebook for blah, 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 came across your profile, you look quite interesting and entrepreneurial, and I was wondering, do you at all look at other ways to generate income online? Yes or no, because I'm looking for some people to joint venture with.
Oh my God, thank you. We gotta get that down, Carl. That's a great thing, man. Thank you, Jerry.
And I have all this stuff in text, and I'll share it with Carl on Skype, and we'll get it out. But by doing that, they're going to say, well, yes or no. So we're right now giving them the option to exit the door by saying no, or by saying yes. You see, by asking it up front, and that's the part about building rapport. I see you're in this town. I understand that you're an entrepreneur because that was my search terms on Facebook.
Right.
And I'm just wondering if you're open to additional income streams. I'm wondering if you're open to ancillary income streams. And just remember something.
Right.
Business in network marketing, brick and mortar, it doesn't matter. It's all about timing. It's all about what's happening in their life. They could be having to cut the grass, their wife's yelling at them, they got to take kids to hockey, and they don't have time to look at anything right now, but they're interested. Or maybe they're not interested because I've already got a successful business, I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. Well, now the comeback is, or the overcoming of the objection is simply, you know what, Tom? I've got a very successful business as well, and I was able to fit this in because you know what it's doing? It's growing my primary business like you've never seen before. You deserve to take a look, and all I want you to do is, sit in on a webinar. If I gave you a website, would you look at it? Or if I brought you to a live webinar, we're having one shortly, and come and meet some of these people. I mean, that's how simple this business is.
Oh, Jerry, thank you. That's what we're looking for. Exactly what we're looking for. It's just sounds good, and you're giving us the possibilities and the answers to those things that might have thrown us off if we didn't have a prepared statement.
And Thomas, what's interesting is what we have to understand as network marketers is people are teleological. Okay, and write that down. It's very important. You can look it up online. But people are teleological and like to have pictures painted in their mind. So if we can paint those pictures in their mind in that pre-talk or in that rapport building stage, which only takes 30 seconds on the phone or maybe a couple of minutes through text back and forth, building that rapport, because I can't change who you are, Thomas. You might like Boston Bruins and I like the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm sorry about that, Al. But anyway.
Either I'm a Rangers fan. I'm a New York
Oilers.
That's people's beliefs, right? We can't change religious. We can't change sports. We can't change the fact that they're in XYZ company and we're in ABC company. We can't change that. But we can build rapport by having that similar belief of the network marketing industry. So we have to paint pictures in people's minds and create that rapport really quick by saying, hey, I see you're in Miami. I checked out your profile, even though you didn't check it out. You just did a search. Their name came up. But I see you're entrepreneurial, you're business-minded, and I was wondering, hey, are you open to joint venturing with me because I'm looking for some people that are interested in generating some extra income? Yes or no? That's it.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That doesn't infringe upon whatever their beliefs are. It's not trying to convert them, which is how I've been feeling that this is like two religions get together and fighting each other, which it's really not. So
it's not. It's not. It's an enhancement. The Legends Network is an enhancement to anything that they're doing. They're going to learn some tips and tricks, and I always tell them after when they say, well, tell me a little bit more. Well, I just said in a statement, the Legends Network is about getting paid to train with legends in this industry. How would you like to learn from blah, 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 and grow your primary business? They'll come back, well, yeah, tell me more. Great. If I gave you a website, would you look at it? If I invited you to a webinar, would you be my guest?
Great. Oh, that sounds good. I'm there. I'm over there, Jerry. To learn from Jerry Schroeder. Amen. Thank you, Jerry. Beautiful.
Okay, we're done here. See you guys.
Yes, that's it, Todd. That's it.
And here's a perfect thing. I mean, for as long as I've been in this industry, I will admit that I don't know everything. And, again, there's a perfect approach that I have not used that I should actually know better to use. And that's why I bring guys like Jerry and I bring guys like Alan on, because they're, what I keep trying to tell my team is that your knowledge is built on bits and pieces of everybody else's knowledge. And that's how you just build. And that's why the Legends Network is so powerful, because you're taking bits and pieces of everybody's knowledge, some of Jerry's, some of Rex's, some of Alan's, some of Val's, everybody's information, and you're putting it into your own little hub, right? That's what makes this, to me, this makes this so powerful. And, I've been in a lot of programs over my years, and I've rubbed shoulders with some fairly good marketers out there, but I will tell you this. I have never been in one place where they've all been in my backyard. Anything you want to add to that, Alan?
Yeah, 1 second here. I was actually just, it was interesting because I was just on my Facebook on my Samsung, and I just got a new person that just added me in. And the first thing I was talking to them about is their primary business and what type of business they are in and what type of business I'm in. And I asked him if he needed any extra material to grow his main business. He said, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, I mean, you need to have some of the best people in the industry be able to teach you how to do your business. He said, oh, I would love that. I said, well, that's exactly what TLN, a company that I'm with, That's exactly what we do. We have a subscription-based business that we have all the minds in the industry on audio in our back office that teaches us how to do the industry properly, how to be professional in the industry. So really, I said we do 4 live webinars a day. I think the next one we've got, I said, it's coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern. Would you be able to get there? He said, sure, I'd love to listen to it. I said, oh, here's the link. That's all it was. Yep. That just happened in the last 3 minutes while I was talking to you guys. It's right here.
That's great, Alan. Once we get into that presentation, it's pretty much sold.
Yeah, they're pretty much sold, Thomas. You're absolutely right. And the other thing that I want you guys to know is that I'm available. I mean, you've got some people to do three-ways with. You've got some people that need to be closed or need some more information or a hit between the eyes with a ball-peen hammer. I'm your guy. You know, I'm definitely your guy. One of the other things, and I know Carl uses this.
It's gonna happen.
It's true. Carl uses this all the time, and it's something that works really well. If you know anybody that has huge success in this industry, you know, people that are making, you know, $1 million a year or $500,000 a year, a really cool approach to that, and I've taught a lot of people to do it, and they're you know, introducing me to people, putting me on three-ways, and I'm interviewing them previously to interviewing is, hey, we'd like your interview for the Legends Network. Would you be open to an interview with the Legends Network? Have you ever thought about being interviewed for the Legends Network? We'd love to hear your story. And then you put them up on this pedestal, and they're like, well, yeah, I'd love me, little old me, aw, thanks. And then you get them on a three-way, you get them interested in the concept. This is a little bit more of a presentation with somebody that can do more of a presentation on the phone, and then guess what? You backdoor them to a live webinar, and they're like, oh, man, I got to be part of this. I can't just give an interview. Heck, I'm not even going to give an interview. I'm just doing this.
Right, yeah.
And that's another approach.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, Tracy Walker, do you want to be interviewed? That was a good one, Gary.
Todd Falcone, how do you think Todd Falcone came in? Tracy Walker's here. Some of the other ones that are going to be added to it. You know, we're going to have
Gary Schroeder got into it too.
Mark Victor Hansen is coming.
Oh my God,
is that right?
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Well, I know even Val was saying that. What's his name there from Shark Tank? Mark Cuban. He's been trying to get a hold of Mark Cuban to do an interview with him. So I mean, you know, when you got billionaires being interviewed as well, that's huge, right?
Yeah. Here's an interesting text message I just got off another fellow I met today. His name is CJ Schultz. He says, wow, that's awesome. I just started online marketing a week ago. I've never done this before, but I'm having good success already with the Freedom Fighters Network that just launched 8 days ago. Now, he's kind of BSing me because he can't be having much success if it only launched 8 days ago and he's only got 1 week of experience in the industry. So I'm kind of reading through that because he might have made $50, you know, but I'm reading through it and it's not. So I said that is fantastic. We actually have a company, we actually have a company just for people like yourselves that are new in the industry to teach them about network marketing. It's called the Legends Network. And he says, oh yeah? And he says, I'd love to hear more about it. I said, well, we do 4 live presentations today. The next one's at 9 o'clock tonight. Here's the link. And you know what? I do probably 50 to 100 of those a day.
Yeah.
Simple.
Well, it's funny because I spent today, like in the very first webinar today, while Val was doing the webinar today, I was on Facebook and I was just shooting out that message, you know, has anybody said anything to you about the Legends Network lately, right? And I'm hitting everybody, and I picked a group of people. Well, I'm not going to say what's on Facebook, but I picked a group on Facebook, and I went down, and some of them were friends of mine, and some of them weren't friends of mine, okay? And I know, and the other guy that was on that fireside said, do it to friends, but you know what? I went outside the box today. You know, I just kind of made a twist to it. I said, hey, you know, have you ever, has anyone talked about Legends Network yet? And they go, oh, on Facebook, add me, right? And I posted that down. I went down and I did, I don't know, probably about 40 of them before Facebook came up and told me I was going too fast and I had to slow down, right? So I stopped there. And So far, 17 of them have responded to me, and 9 of them asked for a link. Okay? And I did that in a half an hour during the thing. So the system works. It works like that because you're going to pique people's curiosities, especially when they haven't heard of something. Everybody wants to hear about the newest thing.
You know, one thing that happens to us in network marketing, we get very complacent after a little while. We get involved with a business, we get excited, we go gung ho, and then we get really complacent in what we're doing. And all of a sudden, once you get complacent, you start to say, why isn't my business growing, or what's happening? Why am I not bringing people in? Why wasn't I bringing people in from the start like I used to do? But yet you got so complacent, you're not reaching out to people on a daily basis. In order to be successful in network marketing, no matter what company you're with, you have to be prospecting every single day. I'm not saying 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You know, myself personally, I don't do a lot in the summertime. I'll be very honest. I spend most of my time at my beach house. But I still work 8 months of the year working this industry. Come May, June, July, and August, yeah, I don't do a heck of a lot of work in network marketing. But 8 months of the year, I am prospecting everywhere I go, every place I go. Walmart, I'll be sitting in the lineup in Walmart, and I'll prospect the person behind me in a Walmart store. You know, I'll get an email from somebody. So it doesn't matter where I am. Offline, online, it don't matter where. I'm in a cat store, I'm in a dog store, I could be in a veterinary shop, or I could be in a coronary, having my coronary done with the surgeons in front of me, and I'll be prospecting. And hey, by the way, and that happened, and that actually happened. I was going into having my open heart surgery last year, and I was talking to my surgeon about the gel that I marketed that he was going to put on me after the surgery to close up my wounds. And I was actually talking to him about marketing when I was going in for open heart surgery.
Did you talk to the anesthesiologist before you put the mask on you and say, hey, you're here on the Legends Network?
You know what? You never talk to the anesthesiologist. All you say to him, please wake me up.
That's
right. There you go. Anything you want to add to that, Jerry?
I just think that the simpler that we keep it, the easier it's going to be. And the whole idea is, you know, targeting the right people. Targeting network marketers is a good target, but even targeting non-network marketers is a great target. Stay-at-home moms. You know, there's so many people that we can target out there in our local market as well as online, and it's just the opportunity's endless. But the whole idea is, and you're right, guys, you want to drive traffic to the live webinars. They're so exciting, but don't forget we're a team here, right? We're a team, so use other people. Use other people's successes if your success isn't where it is. I mean, say, hey, listen, I'm working with you know, this guy named Alan. He's a multi-million-dollar earner in the industry, and he wears muscle shirts like Batman. You know, just be, yeah, there you go, buddy. But what I'm saying is, if we keep it simple and we just use those simple words, if I would you, okay, if I would you guys got to learn those words, if I would you, and does that sound fair? Because if you say, does that sound fair to somebody, you're not selling them. Does that sound fair closes the comment that you shared with them. If I invited you to a website, would you look at it? And then when they come back, well, what's it all about? You know, it's about the Legends Network, where you get paid to train with legends. It'll help you build your primary business. I'd love you to, you know, give me your opinion. Does that sound fair? So what are they saying? Does that sound fair to? What are they saying yes to? Giving you their opinion, because you know what? I'm going to show you how stupid you are, Carl, for joining this dumb. Then they get in there and they're like, holy cow, man, I got to be part of this.
Hey, you know, Jerry. Yeah. How many times, if I went up to interviewed 100 network marketing people right now, if I interviewed 100 network marketing people, they were sitting in my living room right here, and I said to them, and all 100 people sitting around our living room here, and I stood up and I said, how would you like to be trained by the absolute best in the industry in your line of work, network marketing? How many in here would like that? Put up your hand. I will guarantee 100 people will put up their hand in that living room. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely.
So why is it so hard to bring somebody to a webinar?
Yep.
another good thing, Alan, to use that. That's excellent. That's an excellent strategy there. Yeah.
Everybody wants to be trained by the very best in the industry, but they won't take that extra step to be done, and that's why they don't succeed. That's why our industry, let's really talk about what we are. We're professionals. When I had my open heart surgery a year ago or 16 months ago, I didn't go to somebody that was a surgeon, or pardon me, a dentist. I didn't go to somebody that was a school teacher. I went to a heart surgeon. All right. So when you get involved with network marketing, who do you want to learn from? You want to learn from Jerry Schroeder? I sure do. I mean, Jerry and I have been friends for many years. This guy's the top of the top. This guy is the best. He is the best of the best of the best of the best because he understands. He's a professional. He is the open heart surgeon of network marketing. Myself, personally, I'm the best at the open heart surgery of network marketing. It's interesting, when I went to my surgeon the first time I met him, he's one of the best surgeons in Canada. I said to him, it's just funny, I says, by the way, I says, have you ever done an open heart surgery before? And he says, well, he said, I watched on YouTube one time. I don't think you're going to let him open up your heart. And it's no different. It's no different in this industry. You can take people to the Legends Network and have them taught by the very, very, very best in this industry, and then you can have one of the very best industry with Val Smith doing the webinar. Now, Val Smith and I are very dear friends. Carl Halverson and I are very dear friends. The difference between Carl Halverson and Val Smith is that I've never met Carl Halverson in person, but I've spent a lot of time with Smith. That's going to change next week because I'm going to have dinner with Carl Halverson next Wednesday or Thursday.
Looking forward to that.
And by the way,
but this,
that muscle shirt has only got one arm. No, you didn't know that you guys didn't know I was paralyzed in the other arm.
Yeah, one arm. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. But it's having talent on here, and I have to thank both you and Alan and Jerry for coming on because, I've been in this industry a long time, but I never claimed to know everything. I'm always constantly learning. I've learned so much since being with the Legends Network, since working with you guys. And it's always a pleasure to make sure that we have the right talent teaching the right aspects of this business. And this is why I always like to have gentlemen like yourselves on here, because sometimes even me, when I'm even doing some of these here, I will give some direction, and it may not always be the right direction. And this is where I think I kind of confused Tom and Tamara lately, because I was jumping between a couple of different tactics that I was using, and then all of a sudden a new one comes across that I found out about the Fireside, and then that Val had been using, and then you guys come on and edify it right here of exactly what it is, and especially Jerry, where you came on and said exactly what you said about would you like to do this? Would you mind? Or I can't remember exactly what you said on there, but you'll give that to me in writing, I'm sure. But you can come on and say that again before I screw it all up. But you want to make sure that you're giving the right information and closing them on the right note. That's what the important part is.
Always engage your brain before your mouth.
My wife says that all the time when she talks to me, right?
Always.
Sometimes she can hit me in the back of the head and say, "Oh, no, I think it's working now."
Trust me, coming from a guy that's engaged his mouth before his brain so many times. Trust me on this one. Engage your brain before your mouth, always.
Alan, that's why you call him the Crazy Viking. That's part of the mystique.
Well, guys, just just keep it simple, man. We're gonna make this happen. I'm gonna send that information off to you, Carl, and I think maybe one of the things we could do too is do another hangout or even a screen share where I can show you some of the strategies that I use on Facebook to find new people, because a lot of people, like you're saying, get the slow down, get the slap, get the Facebook lockout. It was funny the other day, I was talking to Val, he said, geez, I can't even send a message. Facebook locked me out. What did I do?
Me too, man. This is ridiculous. And 1 minute they do it, the next minute they allow me to put the thing on, and I don't know what's going on with them. It's crazy.
Yeah, you have to do it right, and you have to do it strategically.
What do you mean they're locking you out? Locking you out for what?
Sending private messages.
Private messages and everything.
Oh boy.
All you can do is post on your wall. That's it.
Even posting on my wall, sometimes they put me on restriction for that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, well, Thomas, I've seen some of your posts, man. You're not supposed to post that stuff.
Thomas, you gotta keep your clothes on. I'm telling you.
Ah, I know that's the problem, man.
It's a Speedo picture. I keep telling you, you got to put that up there.
Remember.
I saw
people are teleological, Thomas. You don't want to paint those kinds of pictures in their mind, okay?
In anybody's mind, I don't want to see it.
All right, man. I got to get ready for a call here at 6 o'clock. I'm glad I can make it. Sorry I was late.
Thank you very much.
A crazy guy over there.
Take care.
Thank you.
Appreciate you a lot, my friend, and we will have you back on. We'll do that again.
I do want to say one thing, though. Don,
Yes.
Don't talk so much next time, okay?
I promise I won't.
All right. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jerry. Okay, this is awesome. Unfortunately, I got locked out. My PC locked up and went out. But I'm sure you guys got some really good info from those guys while I was gone. So again, you know what? We're going to start fresh and new. You've heard some of the stuff that's here. Jerry's going to get me that information. I'm going to get that out to you guys as soon as I get it from him. What I gave you before still works, but let's get it done better.
Yeah,
okay?
Carl, we're holding
this. Let's get with what should be working, right? So that's what we're going to get down to. See how good these Hangouts are? I love having them because we're always going to have new information coming on, and especially when I can get Jerry and Alan, and maybe one time I'll have Val on and Janet and stuff like that. We're going to hear all kinds of different strategies, and that's so beautiful about these little tiny Hangouts here, okay, that we're able to do that. And, most of the people, if they're watching this live on YouTube, lucky for them, because my Hangouts go to unlisted immediately after they're done. So unless they're given the link to my Hangout, they don't see it. Okay? So I'm not going to actually put it under lock and key and make it private with a password, but this way here, the people that deserve to get this information get it. Okay? And that's what it's all about. I want to make sure that everybody on everybody's team has this information so that we can build this. And Tamara, I really have to thank you for being the aggressive person that you are and putting up with the aggressive bulldog that I am. Because, well, you know what? This was really good. It was good for both you and me, I think, today, for this year. Because it brought out a lot of good content. It got our content answered, which was really important. Okay? And I'm sure you got the right answer today, right?
Yes, Gary really helped, or Jerry really helped me understand, just going out and talking to me, you got all this training about doing this and that, but this is a business, and I'm very business oriented. You can tell by the way I am aggressive, but I don't, I'm not supposed to be that way when I talk to people. So it's like, where do I find that fine line? And now I can understand. It's okay with me to ask those questions, so and not have to play so nicey.
Tamara, it's not about being aggressive. It's about being influential. It's saying the right things that it's going to get people to come our way. And you don't have to be, aggressive to do that. You just have to say the right words, and that's it. What?
See?
Hey, Carl.
You're right. I can be very aggressive. You've all dealt with me, right?
Yeah.
You know how aggressive I can be. But and sometimes it's bad because I've had that happen to me where people go, oh, you know what? I can't talk to you. You're just too loud. Sometimes I am.
Yeah,
I just
Tamara, don't feel that way.
I just find sometimes with the guys that's been in it for a while, you guys got blinders on, and you don't see it from our point of view. And I just wanted you to see that for a moment, and that I get that now. I'm understanding it better because you guys came to my point of view on what I'm thinking of. So, yeah.
Good
I try to go to everybody's point of view. I try to find out. That's why I asked you guys today. Give us what you're feeling, because sometimes, you know, when you're, like you said, when we've been in this industry so long, we have our blinders on. We have just a certain way we do things, certain things we listen to, and sometimes you just gotta open up and a little bit better, right? And that's why I like these hangouts that we're having, because we're getting the answers to the questions, you know, from the people who are struggling. And sometimes I don't listen, or I don't hear what I need to hear in them. And that's why I need you guys to voice out. This is what is missing from most hangouts, because whenever I go on a hangout, at least I have in the past with different companies, who have been on the panel, and Don, you can contest to this, the people that are on the panel are who? The ones making all the money. Right? You don't have anybody on there who is struggling or just getting going and stuff like that. These are the people you need to have on there. You need to allow them to engage and ask those questions. And that's why I needed you guys on here today. I thought this was a very, very productive hangout today.
Yeah, it was. Hey, Carl, I just got a message from Roger saying that he was trying to get onto the watch part of our webinar. Was that not working, or do you know?
Oh my God, I screwed up. I forgot to save it and publish it.
Okay.
It'll be on right away. They'll be able to watch
Well, we'll tell him he missed the best webinar we've ever had in the world. Kind
So
of
how
what
would
I told
I
you the other day.
How would I access this? I mean, I know we're going live now, but how do I get access to look at this over after we're done here?
I'm going to give the link to the room. Everybody will have it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It'll be posted in the room afterwards. I give that out to everybody so they can go back. I knew there was something I forgot to do. Okay, so that'll be done.
No problem.
Okay. So everybody had their questions answered to what they want. Is there anything else that we need to discuss, or are we good?
No, this was a great hangout, man. You know, and Jerry, he crushed it. He crushed it. So just get that information to us, and I think we're going to be fine for a while.
Awesome. Well, thank all of you coming on. I really appreciate the fact that you put up with me. Okay, you and I are a lot alike. Okay. And, you know, I got pretty aggressive with her on here today, and I kind of felt a little bit bad about it, but you know what? We got the answers that we needed, and that was what was so important. And, and it was good that I disappeared for a bit, because then you actually got them, Alan and Jerry, to actually get everything done that I wanted to get done. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's watching this, which is probably nobody, because I forgot to share the link to everybody.
Well, at least of us on the panel watching it.
I even published this on Facebook.
Oh my God.
So, but that's cool.
Lesson learned.
We answered
So,
six
yeah, I knew
questions.
there was something I forgot to do. So, anyways, guys, thank you very much for coming on today. Let's do this more often.
Carl,
okay?
Carl.
I'll get as many of those guys to come on as I can.
Hey, hold on a second, because Nola is asking a question about autoresponder letters. Let me see if I can see it on there.
Okay.
You might get in touch with her. Oh, she says you might just get in touch with her then.
Yeah, I'm really not too sure about how to put the letters in. I think because I'm not using that right now. Back off. I might have to get her onto someone else.
I don't know what her question is.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll discuss it after. I'm going to end this here. So thanks again, everybody, for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you on Friday.